The CFPB, the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, who are they? This is the government regulatory agency that supervises banks, lenders, financial institutions, and credit card companies and debt collectors, and ensures that your consumer rights are protected. When there's a violation of your consumer rights, you can submit a complaint directly to the CFPB through their website, identify the entity that violated your consumer rights and the situation in which it occurred. And you can also supply documentation to help with your case. Now, in regards to credit repair, remember, credit repair is only identifying when credit bureaus have violated your consumer rights. So when you are repairing your credit, you need evidence. How do you get evidence and proof that Equifax, TransUnion, and Experian are violating your consumer rights or have violated your consumer rights? You do not submit a CFPB complaint first. Meaning, if you review your credit report and you see Bank of America has reported a charge-off and you want to challenge this information with Experian and you want to say, hey, they're violating my consumer rights, I don't think this is being reported correctly. The first place you go to is the credit bureaus. How do you go to the credit bureaus first? You write a dispute letter and you submit it to the credit bureaus. Because if you submit your dispute directly to the CFPB, they have 60 days to respond. Meaning, if you don't involve the credit bureaus and you say, hey, this Bank of America charge off, I disagree with it, I'm gonna submit it through a CFPB complaint. That is not how you use the CFPB. You mail your dispute directly to the credit bureau first. So you would have a dispute letter, it can be handwritten, you put it in an envelope, you put it in the mail. And once you put it in the mail, you wait for the credit bureau to respond. And in this case, Experian responded. When they responded, they said, your dispute was investigated and we verified the account as yours. This is evidence. They violated your consumer rights. How did they violate your consumer rights? They didn't provide any documentation, the person they spoke to, any method of verification, any proof that they investigated your dispute. They just told you it's verified and you're supposed to take their word. So now you have your first piece of evidence and you're able to submit a CFPB complaint stating that Experian violated my consumer rights. They never provided me any documentation proving that they actually investigated my dispute, nor did they provide who they contacted, what the method of contact was. But in normal credit repair, you want to have more evidence. It's like going to court and you're trying a case. You want more evidence. So you send another dispute letter. Experian responds again, and now they say, hey, we re-verified it. So they violated your consumer rights again. They never gave you the information in which to find out if they actually investigated. They didn't tell you if they talked to Emily, Sheila. They didn't say if Sheila sent a letter or your application, and we're sending it to you to prove that they actually investigated. So now that you submit your CFPB complaint, you will upload that information and the original letters that you sent to Experian and submit a complaint stating they violated my consumer rights. They never told me who they spoke to. They never provided me proof that an investigation occurred. Once you submit your CFPB complaint, the more evidence you attach to it, the better your results will be. Now that you've attached that information, the CFPB will then contact Experian and say, hey, you didn't adhere to the Fair Credit Reporting Act, nor did you protect his consumer rights and provide any proof that an investigation actually occurred. So Experian says, you know what, you're right, we're gonna permanently delete that Bank of America charge off of his credit report because we failed. That is what the CFPB is for. They are the enforcement. But to enforce and to give a judgment, you have to give them evidence. So when you submit a CFPB complaint in regards to credit repair, you need proof that the credit bureaus violated your consumer rights. And since they violated your consumer rights, they have to permanently delete this account. That is when you use the CFPB. The more evidence you have, when you send dispute letters and the credit bureaus don't investigate, and you see that they are not investigating, you submit a CFPB complaint, and that is how you use them. Have any questions? Click the link in my bio.